Good evening, everybody. If you could all please gather around, that would be great. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Mike, how are you? Oh, yeah, Mom. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. That's great. Please gather around if you could. We have a very important person who wants to make a little speech, not me. Say, Kath. Is everybody in where they'd like to be? If you could gather around a little bit, it would be great. Thank you all for coming this evening. Everybody hear me okay? We have the great privilege of introducing Mayor Chris Coleman, a very good friend and someone who's been such a gift to St. Paul. He's been a dynamic leader for the past 8 years. Under his leadership, he's guided St. Paul through a tough recession while continuing to advocate for many projects important for the city's future. Now, we stand right now at the east terminus for the Central Corridor light rail transit system, which has breathed new life into a 5-mile stretch of University Avenue. Everywhere you look, you see the impact of this new billion-dollar transportation system that Chris was so part of. He's been a spark plug also for a big downtown housing boom in both affordable and market rate rental projects, the Penfield, West Side Flats, the Rayette Building, the Loft at Farmers Market, and many more. Downtown Minneapolis is getting all the hype, but Chris is building a livable, walkable, and people-friendly downtown brick by brick and block by block. He has also reached out to the tech community, bringing new investment from such firms as Microsoft, Cray Research, Internet Broadcasting Systems, and a brand new startup called When I Work. Just coincidentally, 2 of these firms are in buildings we own and manage. So thanks, Chris. You're our favorite leasing guy. And what about this beautiful Union Depot and this new Saints Ballpark just a few blocks east? What a pair of bookends for the resurgence we're seeing in Lower Town. Chris thinks big, takes tough stands, and is clear about the fundamental values that are needed as we work to build a better community. Plus, he is genuinely one of the most entertaining and witty public officials around, who is quick to poke fun whenever we take ourselves too seriously. We look forward to many more years of his very capable leadership, and we're so pleased, Mayor Coleman, that you're here with us this evening. Please give a warm welcome to St. Paul's Mayor Chris Coleman.
Thanks, Steve. I feel like it's my retirement party, and just want to thank you. What an honor and privilege it has been to serve all of you these many years, and I look forward to seeing you in retirement. It is really nice to be here to honor Wellington Management and its 30 years of service to the City of St. Paul. And of course, there's no Wellington Management without Wellington. A lot of folks, obviously, that have been working with Steve over the years. But it is a fact that so much of what we see, so many of the great things that are happening in the City of St. Paul, is because of a partnership between the public sector, the nonprofit sector, and the for-profit development community. And if it wasn't for folks like Steve that had a vision for what the City of St. Paul could become, then there would be no buildings for me to come along and hopefully bring companies into, whether they're startup tech companies or whether they're longtime employers in the City of St. Paul, whether they're a new wave of kind of companies that are finding a new home in the City of St. Paul because we've made investments in things like light rail or the Union Depot or the new ballpark, which, by the way, it is just a little over 5 months until we see the first pitch at the new regional ballpark. Before we see that, it is only a couple of months before we hear the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra playing in their new home at the Ordway Center. And it is those things that are just making St. Paul not just the most livable community, but one of the most vibrant. So I'm okay that Minneapolis gets a headline every once in a while. You know, we're a big city, we can take it. But the fact of the matter is, as I like to say, we are Brooklyn to Minneapolis' Manhattan, and that is just okay with me because the vibe that's happening in the City of St. Paul is great, and Steve has just played an instrumental role in that. So I want to do a proclamation thanking him for his years of service that go back to his tenure in the Planning and Economic Development Department, working with Mayor Latimer those many years ago to really get the resurgence and the renaissance of St. Paul going. And that's the nicest thing I'm going to say about Latimer for weeks to come. So with no further ado, whereas Wellington Management is celebrating 30 years as one of St. Paul's leading commercial development and property management companies, whereas Wellington Management President and owner Steve Wellington is proud to have started his career as a City of St. Paul employee in 1976, whereas Wellington Management owns and manages 18 commercial properties in the City of St. Paul, which provides space to over 100 small businesses and nonprofit organizations, whereas Wellington Management is proud to provide office and retail space to many outstanding tenants, including Mintronics, Internet Broadcasting Systems, Metsura, Drake Bank, Northwest Area Foundation, Avalon Charter School, Trust for Public Land, the Bibolo Shop, Pope Architects, Aspen Medical Clinic, Smith Printing, and Senator Franken's local Senate office, just to name a few. Whereas Wellington Management has contributed to many nonprofit organizations through its participation and financial support for the Heart Walk, Habitat for Humanity, the Jeremiah Program, the Minnesota Book Awards Poetry Table, Beacon Interfaith Housing Prior Crossing Homeless Youth Project, Regents Hospital's new mental health building, and the St. Paul Central High School Foundation. Now therefore I, Christopher Coleman, proclaim today, December 11th, 2014, to be Wellington Management in the City of St. Paul. And I just want to thank Steve and Kathy and the whole team that have been such an integral part of this. Thank you very much, Steve.
Senator Al Franken could not be here this evening, but he did send me a little note, which I really need to share with you. We've had the great pleasure in our Drake building on the West Side Flats to house the local Senate office for Senator Franken for 5 years, and I think he's about to sign up for 6 more. And a separate opportunity in one of our buildings in the Midway to house the campaign office, so we have had a close personal relationship with Senator Franken's office, his terrific staff that really provide a lot of great service. And Senator Franken said, "Dear Steve, congratulations on Wellington Management's 30th anniversary, and thank you for being such a great landlord for both our official office and our campaign office. I probably should check with my team first, but since I'm writing, did we get our security deposit back?" Well, I'm sure he did. What the heck? I would like to personally welcome all of you to our 30th anniversary party. Wellington Management is here today because of all of you. Our tenants, our investor partners, our bankers, our contractors, our vendors, our employees, and the many cities where we have worked, it took all of you to enable us to thrive and prosper over the last 3 decades. Thanks for being willing to work with us to help us become a leader in commercial development and community service in our beloved hometown, the city of St. Paul. This is also a 40th anniversary. My wife, Kathy, and I grew up in Boston. We moved to St. Paul in 1974, just 2 years after we were married. I still remember driving into St. Paul for the first time late one hot July afternoon. The first stop for our U-Haul truck was a gas station at Lexington and I-94. At the time, we knew only 2 people, Cammie and Rob Beatty, who, by the way, are here tonight, are very good friends who we knew in college. Everything was completely new and unknown when we moved here. And now, 40 years later, we are very proud to call the Twin Cities our home. St. Paul has welcomed these 2 East Coast refugees and helped us sink roots deeply into a welcoming and thriving community. Special thanks to Kathy. You've helped us both build a rewarding and meaningful life in a new community, and you've helped create the values and direction for Wellington Management every step of the way. Today, Wellington Management oversees a $350 million portfolio of 90 commercial buildings located in 20 different Twin Cities metropolitan area communities. This 3.6 million square foot collection of office buildings, shopping centers, and industrial property is currently home to more than 500 tenants. We've built our reputation on such development projects as the Drake Building, Bandana Square, Emerald Gardens, and Snelling Office Plaza in St. Paul, the High Lake Shopping Center and Penn Lowry Crossing in Minneapolis, and the creation of Woodbury's thriving city center area. Kathy and I are equally proud of the company's dedication to community service. Wellington Management is a leader in raising money for the Twin Cities Heart Walk, where participation and Habitat for Humanity, fixing houses every year with our employees as volunteers. We sponsor the Poetry Table at the Minnesota Book Awards. We've been deeply involved in the creation of Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative, a nonprofit developer of affordable housing. And we have helped raise money to build the new Regents Hospital mental health building. Giving back to the community is a passion and a central value in all we do. Thank you very much. There's a tradition in America to extol the virtues of rugged individualism. Our cultural heroes are the lone cowboy on the prairie, James J. Hill, St. Paul's famous railroad tycoon, or Steve Jobs from Silicon Valley. They represent the triumph of an individual's ability to create new enterprises in the face of economic adversity. Over the past 30 years, I have certainly enjoyed my career as an entrepreneur, but I have never, ever felt like a lone cowboy. Despite that enduring American myth, that's just not my story. Everything that Wellington Management has ever accomplished, any of our projects that have been successful, these have all required many, many people working together to achieve a common vision. In Japan, there's a saying that the nail that stands out gets hammered down. Asian cultures tend to emphasize the importance of interdependence, not the virtues of a solo entrepreneur. And my experience right here in the Twin Cities has taught me that it's far more important to collaborate than to compete. Benjamin Disraeli once said that success is the child of audacity. And I think that's generally true. You need to take big risks in order to build something important and enduring. But I'm certain that without a family supporting me, without a team of committed and hardworking employees, without partners who had the courage to invest their time and money, without tenants who shared our vision, without bankers and investors providing the capital, and without public officials wanting to partner with us as we develop new buildings in their communities, without all these teammates, Wellington Management would never have made it to this wonderful 30th anniversary party. A great example is the very first building we developed. I started the company in late 1984, and in June of 1985, Andy Boss, the president at that time of St. Anthony Park State Bank, he approached me about building a new headquarters for his financial institution. I had never built anything at the time. I was a complete rookie trying to find a new project to launch my company. Somehow Andy Boss had the belief that I could help out, and he assembled a group of 7 local investor partners. Some are here tonight, and we worked together on a plan for that new building. And then on December 23rd, 1985, just about 1 year after I started the company, we all closed on $2.5 million in financing, and I signed my very first personal guarantee. Welcome to commercial real estate. Many people would focus on the risk that I took with that first project. $2.5 million is a pretty big loan. We all had to sign personally, and the bank was only leasing half the space, so we needed other tenants to fill the building. But the risks were shared. Together we found more tenants, and with those same partners, Wellington Management went ahead with 6 additional projects over the subsequent 20 years. Today, Wellington Management has 60 investor partners. These investors are individuals who enjoy being able to drive out and look at their investments, who enjoy talking to the staff and meeting together to discuss the projects they own. These 60 partners have provided several $1 million in capital that has been central to the expansion and success of our company. But more importantly, these individuals have provided advice, support, and friendship as the company has gradually grown from a single building in St. Anthony Park to 90 buildings throughout the metropolitan area. We've also relied on a lot of commercial banks to provide us with loans to purchase and develop our properties. There is no way we could ever have owned and managed $350 million of commercial real estate without their support. So many thanks to Bremer Bank, Western Bank, U.S. Bank, Associated Bank, TCF Bank, Sunrise Bank, and many, many more. We have certainly needed these banks for their money, but sometimes the most important thing that a banker can do is to ask the tough questions and to provide sound advice, and our banking friends have always done that for us. Now, how about a little shout out for those hardworking Wellington Management employees? Every day I work with a group of truly outstanding people. The 28 folks who work at Wellington Management are a fun, hard-working, and exceptionally talented group of professionals. Each year, we negotiate 150 different leases, close on 15 new bank loans, develop 80 new building budgets, prepare 70 tax returns. I know you're excited about this. Acquire 4 new properties and complete $15 million worth of new commercial projects. But we care for one another and lift each other up each time we hit any kind of challenge. Thanks to every single one of you for your commitment and dedication. I would like to wrap this up with a very special thank you to the person who helped me take the leap, Mayor George Latimer. what an experience it was. I worked for George between 1976 and 1984. Those 8 years were a very creative and educational opportunity for me. Starting when I was 26 years old, my job in City Hall provided me with an opportunity to work with just about every leader in St. Paul's public and private sector. George and his inspirational Deputy Mayor Dick Broker taught me to think big and to reach beyond my grasp. The results of projects created during the Latimer era are all around us. District Energy, Lower Town redevelopment, the Family Housing Fund, Riverfront development, Energy Park, and many, many more. Mayor Latimer was the inspiration for all these projects. But the progress made in St. Paul in those days was not about the greater glory of Mayor Latimer. It was all about working collaboratively to create a better and more vital community. So thank you, George, from the bottom of my heart for all you did for me. Wellington Management is a family business. One of the most exciting things to happen to us this fall has been the decision by our son David Wellington to join the company. David is right down front, waving at all the well-wishers here. It took quite a lot of work to pry him out of Seattle, where he's been living. That's a lovely city, but this is better, David. You'll never regret it. He's been working at a real estate company out here, out in Seattle, and so he's bringing some of those West Coast skills with him. There's no way I would have had the courage to start this enterprise without the support of my wife, Kathy, and the enthusiasm of our 3 adult children. Kathy has also recently joined the company as a part-time advisor after retiring from 23 years as a professor at Metropolitan State University. Kathy is also right here. The real heart and soul here. And Laura and our new grandson, Indy, who, by the way, is the other really exciting thing to happen this fall. And our eldest son, Jeff, lives in Portland, Oregon. He sends his greetings. He wished he could have been here, too. It will be great working directly with David and Kathy as we enter our 4th decade. I'm excited about the energy everyone in this room feels as we greet 2015 with renewed confidence that the recession has faded. Next month, Wellington Management will complete construction of our newest project, a $12 million mixed-use, affordable senior housing and retail development on Lake Street in Minneapolis. And this month, our commercial property portfolio reached 94% occupancy, a new record for us. Growth and investment are happening everywhere. Companies are hiring. New apartments, office buildings, and retail centers are under construction. But most importantly, a new generation of creative and committed 20 and 30-year-olds are determined to move us forward to improve our community and to make their mark. I'm looking forward to being part of this new energy. I'm confident that Wellington Management will continue to be a leader in commercial development in the St. Paul community we are proud to call home. Thanks to all of you for helping us make our journey successful. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you all. I would like to express my appreciation for all the work Jessie Higgins did to organize this great event. She knocked herself out, and what a beautiful event it is. She's our marketing coordinator. Thanks also to Christos for the great food. And thanks to all the staff here at this beautiful Union Depot. What a great place for a party. So please enjoy yourself. I look forward to talking to every single one of you. Thanks so much.